and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully I can add some happy squish vibes to your day today. Okay, so as you probably have already been able to tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be choosing 5 Squishmallows from my collection that I would absolutely be saving in a fire. So I just picked 5 Squishmallows out of my collection, and I will preface this by saying this was very hard for me to choose, and I'm still second guessing some of my choices now, but I kind of just made myself impulsively choose 5 Squishmallows that I would save in a fire. Obviously, I would love to save every single Squishmallow in my collection in the event of a fire, but these are ones that I just kind of made myself impulsively be like, what would I grab? Like, what would I look for? What would I try and grab? So we're just going to be going through those 5 Squishmallows today. So let's get started. Okay, so to kind of set the scene here, so let's just all together imagine like house catches on fire, something happens, and I have to run up to my squish room really quickly and I can only grab like 5 Squishmallows, and these are the ones I can take with me out of the fire. That's a little bit of a crazy scenario, but that's what we're gonna go with. Again, this just makes me sad to think about because I love all my Squishmallows, and I would absolutely want to take more than these 5. But these are just the 5 that we chose today. So let's get started on the first one that I would choose, running out of the fire. So number 1, obviously, if you know me, you know my videos, know my content, I have to have a Connor to save. I have to save a Connor in my collection. And this guy actually hasn't been on my channel in a little bit, but I think he was very present at the start of me making my YouTube channel. But I would absolutely have to save a Connor in my collection. Oh my gosh, hands down, favorite Squishmallow has to have a Connor. And I just love the little Fuzzamello Connor. He is so cute, just nice and fluffy and big, and he's just so much fun. I don't remember what video it's actually in, but I think in one of my more like original videos, like one of my first videos, I talk about getting this guy because I think it was in one of my like the cows I got in February or something, how I got my hands on this guy because I was looking for him for a long time, and my mom finally got him for me and I was ecstatic. So I feel like the effort put into getting this guy and just how cute and fluffy and cozy he is, he would definitely be able to comfort me after the fire, and I just feel like had to take Connor with me, so this was definitely a must-have. All right, the next one I would be grabbing immediately is Mr. Tulloch. Of course, had to have this guy. He is definitely one of my favorite cows in my collection. So really, I think honestly, this comes down to some of the favorite cows / Squishmallows in my collection. So that's probably why I'm gravitating towards the ones that I am to grab if there was a fire. But I absolutely cannot leave without Tulloch. I have a Squishmallow storytime video on my channel that talks about how I got this bad boy, along with a few other Squishmallows in my collection that have like interesting backstories. But this guy was very hard for me to get. I finally got him at Target with the help of a very nice Target worker. Actually, a couple nice Target workers, but this guy was so like low-key hard to find. I absolutely cannot leave him behind, and I just love him so much. Again, Squishmallows, if you're watching, we need more versions of Tulloch because this is the only version I believe that's out there. Listen, a 5-inch Tulloch, let me know in the comments below if you agree, but like a 5-inch Tulloch or even a clip, that would be so cute, y'all. It would be so adorable. So absolutely a need to have this guy running out the door. The next Squishmallow that I will be grabbing when I am trying to get out of the house during the fire. That sounds so crazy when I'm saying that. But anyway, I have a couple different versions of this Squishmallow in my collection, but I would specifically be grabbing this one out of all of these that I have. But of course, I'm going to be grabbing Ronnie on my way out. Oh my goodness. This version of Ronnie is probably my favorite version. I think it's one of the more original versions, especially since it has this tag. But I don't know what it is about this guy, but I think just like the coloring, the nose, because also I have some other Ronnies up there. I think the other Ronnies also have a brown nose too, but I really like this tannish brown that they used on this one, and just the shape and the proportions and everything. He is chef's kiss perfect. Love this guy so much. He's so teeny. So I definitely would be able to cuddle a little more with Tulloch in the Connor that I chose. But this guy is just too cute and teeny and perfect to leave behind. All right, and I know we've had a lot of cows so far, but I promise they aren't all cows. I do have a non-cow Squishmallow pulled in here, and if you've seen my past videos, you probably know who this is going to be, but it is none other than Miss Junie. I could not leave my squish room in a fire without grabbing Junie. This one in particular, this one is actually the Canada version of Junie. One of my lovely Squishmallow community friends sent me her all the way from Canada. This was when the Junies weren't really in the US yet, so I was really wanting her, and she was so kind enough to send me one. And honestly, I don't know if you can really see it, but I have a version of Junie, same size pretty much, from the US. And for some reason, I just really like the Canada version better. Y'all let me know in the comments below if you've kind of seen the differences of them, or if you have a preference over ones from Canada versus ones from the US. Because I also have a 5-inch version of Junie from the US and from Canada, and I think I like the Canada version better as well. But she's just so cute. Again, love the details on the peel. It is so adorable. But this, again, I've said this in many videos, but other than cows, I think Junie is my favorite Squishmallow. I love the cows the most, and then the food Squishmallows, I also collect those, and she is my favorite food Squishmallow. So we could not have a complete group without Miss Junie in it. All right, now for my last slot of what Squishmallow I'm going to be grabbing on the way out. I will say, guys, I got those 4, and I was kind of struggling on figuring out what other Squishmallow I wanted to add to my list here, especially since I will say that my 3 favorite cows in my whole collection are Connor, Ronnie, and Tulloch. So I have those guys in here, at least one of the ones in my collection. And then Junie is my favorite non-cow Squishmallow, so I had to put her in there as well. So it just feels like I got my main people in there, but I really wanted to do 5 instead of 4 and maybe make it a little interesting, whichever one the last one I picked was. But I really tried to make more of an impulsive decision, because that would be an impulsive situation. So this is the last one that I ended up with, and it might be a little bit of a surprise. Not so much a surprise because it's still a cow, but maybe like which one is a little bit of a surprise. But this is my 5th and final Squishmallow that I'm going to be grabbing on the way out the door. I don't know what it is, but this size of Sleepymallow in the cow is so adorable. I don't know what it is, but y'all, look at her. Look at, I think, Belina. I feel like I always say her name wrong, but I just have always called her Belina, so that's what I'm going to go with. But this size, I really do like the Sleepymallows. The cows especially have grown on me a lot. And this one is just so cute and tiny. Great for cuddles and snuggling. Again, I think I said, like, the Fuzzamello Connor could comfort me after the fire. So this one, the hypothetical fire, this one would probably be able to do the same thing. But she is just so cute. She's so sleepy looking. And her little legs and her tail is just so adorable. So I don't know. This one I just get really drawn to really randomly. I love all my cows, love all the Squishmallows in my collection, but this one in particular just stood out to me when I was trying to pick that 5th and final Squishmallow to use in my little group here. All right, y'all, so those are the 5 Squishmallows that I will be impulsively grabbing if I was hypothetically in a fire. So those 5 are the ones I'm going to end up with. Even though I was still contemplating which one to use for that 5th slot, I'm pretty happy with the ones that I ended up choosing. I feel like I was going to say pretty well-rounded, but 4 out of 5 of them were cows. But I will say, again, most of my collection, I would say like 80% of my collection is probably made up of cows, and then at least 15 to 20%, so most of the rest of my collection is made up of food Squishmallows. So that's where Miss Junie comes in, and then I have like a few stragglers of like other types as well. But even though it's not like 4 out of 5 of them were cows, I feel like it's still pretty representative of my personal collection. So I just thought it would be kind of a fun little scenario, because I was thinking of showing y'all my top 5 favorite cows in my collection, or top favorite Squishmallows in my collection, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of give myself a little scenario in terms of what 5 Squishmallows I'm going to be picking out. But if you have a top 5 that you would pick in this situation, definitely let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts because I feel like, I don't know. I feel like this kind of situation would be interesting because it is very like you would have to think very quickly, very much on your feet. So it could influence which ones you grab. And then, like, for example, you're trying to go quick, and I have like 24-inch Squishmallows in like a hammock or way on top of a shelf. That might be harder to grab. I don't know. You might not take that into consideration, but some people would. But if you have thoughts of your own on which Squishmallows you would take in that situation, definitely let me know in the comments below. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more, and we'll see you next time. Bye!